at the district membership seminar. We are going to hear some very interesting speakers, and we want to pool ideas and share thoughts on how we can shape the future of our clubs in District 3300. All right. I'd like to firstly welcome all of you on behalf of our District Governor, Teoh Swee, and District First Lady, Rotarian Tan Ui Kim. They welcome you to our seminar, and we'd like to give a special welcome to our guest of honor and keynote speaker today, incoming Rotary International President, Shekhar Mehta, who will be joining us at 3 p.m. Malaysian time. This membership seminar is intended to harness our combined intellectual ideas so that we can keep growing and shape the future of our clubs. As you know, the governor has set an ambitious target to grow our district to 2,500 members. And I'm happy to say we are heading there.
As Rotary, we often ask ourselves, how do we grow personally, professionally, and organizationally? The answer is simple. To grow Rotary, we need more Rotary clubs. Let's use Anytown as an example. Anytown is a city of 100,000 people and home to one proud Rotary club. But there are hundreds of other people of action, just like us, who are uniquely qualified to become Rotary members. They share the same drive and represent the values and fundamentals of a Rotary member. So why aren't they members? Well, the current club meets on Monday. There are leaders in Anytown who can't meet on a Monday. By excluding this segment, the potential members in Anytown has shrunk. Now consider, what if the meeting is at noon on Monday? There are people who can meet on Monday, but can't meet at noon. So now we have a smaller audience for Rotary in Anytown. Of the remaining group, some aren't interested in a club with a sit-down lunch and speakers. They are passionate about service, but aren't interested in a traditional club experience. And that is okay. The Rotary Club of Anytown isn't doing anything wrong. It just doesn't appeal to particular segments of the community. And if we're going to thrive for years to come, we must adapt and embrace change. In Anytown, we have an opportunity to expand because potential members are everywhere. More than half of the eligible people are prospective Rotary members, waiting to make a bigger impact in their community. But what Rotary Club exists for them? If Anytown creates new clubs at new times and new places, the hidden potential for Rotary will be revealed. As people of action, we must broaden our reach and provide opportunities to all leaders in the community. Together, all of us can grow Rotary.
Yes, my friends, together, all of us can grow Rotary. And we have in District 3300, under the inspirational leadership of our Governor, Teoh Swee, we, for the first time ever in the history of our district, crossed 2,000 members, okay? And now we have to charge towards that number of 2,500, and we have to shape the future of our clubs and our district. So without much ado, it gives me great pleasure to invite our great district governor for Rotary, as Arif used to say, the best district governor we have for Rotary year 2020-2021, okay, Teoh Swee.
Thank you, Convener Membership Chair of District 3300, DGND, Dato Dr. Siva, incoming RI President Shekhar, my dear friends and fellow Rotarians, good day to all of you. Today, we are very honored to have our incoming RI President, Shekhar Mehta, here with us as our guest of honor and keynote speaker. His presence here is certainly a booster to us as we are making every effort to grow the membership in our district. Thank you. A little bit of the background to see where we were and where we want to be. The membership of our district since the split of 330 into 3300 and 3310 in 1991 has been stagnant or hovering around 2007, 2008 over the past 30 years. No one has ever imagined that we can one day cross the psychological and elusive mark of 2,000 members. Now, I have set our top priority as the district governor for Rotary year 2020-21 to grow the district. With that in mind, I have set a very ambitious membership target for 2020-21 to increase the number of clubs from 82 to 100 with an average club size of 25, and to grow our members from 1,795 at the beginning of the year to 2,005 by the end of the Rotary year. It is certainly a tall order, but we must think big, think bold, if we want to change the landscape and of Rotary in this region. The great saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step definitely applies here. We have to start somewhere, somehow. We may not be there this year due to the disruptions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, but I'm confident that we can be there in the next couple of years for reasons. One, there is the emergence of many new townships in our country where we have the opportunity to reach out to. Number two, the population has increased manifold in most of the towns and cities where service organizations like Rotary has a role to play to help out those in need. Three, there are greater chances and opportunities to be more diversified and open, especially to include the ladies, Chinese and Malay speaking segments of the society in this country who have felt they were not a good fit for the organization due to wrong perceptions. We need to be more open, more diversified, and more inclusive so that we are united together to make the world a better place for everyone to live in. Four, Rotary is grossly underrepresented in many parts of the country. Our reach and presence is not felt far and wide as it should be. Five, the introduction of the many changes and flexibilities by RI, especially the different club models that suit the needs and interests of people, have made it so much easier for those who want to join and get associated with Rotary. Where are we now, my friends, in this very difficult and trying time? Now, I'm glad to inform you that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we have managed to start 4 new clubs, of which one is a course-based club, and 3 satellite clubs, and to bring our membership to a historic high of 2,025 in November, and only to drop to 1,996 after the half a year normal cleanup by clubs in December. But I'm confident we can maintain the momentum as 3 more satellite clubs will be formed within these 2 months and more in subsequent months. We are also exploring other club models such as e-clubs, corporate clubs, etc. We may not be able to achieve the set target of 2005 this year, but we have set a record and momentum to grow our membership. Now, looking at clubs' performance, 38 clubs out of 86 or 44% of the clubs have registered growth in membership, while 31 clubs or 36% remained stagnant, and 17 clubs or 20% have registered a decline in their membership. 57 clubs or 66% of our clubs are below the expected average size of 25 members, of which 10 clubs or 12% are weak in membership with only 10 members and below. My friends and fellow Rotarians, membership development is everyone's responsibility. How I wish every club could put in place a strategic plan to grow their membership and to make their clubs big, strong, healthy, and vibrant. The future shape of the district and your club is in your hands. There is no finishing line for our membership drive, and I urge you together with me to strive to achieve our district goal of 2,500 members and change the landscape and shape of Rotary in District 3300. My dear friends and fellow Rotarians, I have to count on each and every one of you to bring in one new member to make it happen. Yeah, to make it happen. Thank you. Terima kasih, Nantri, and Sese. Thank you.
Thank you, District Governor Teoh Kwan Swee, for that address. And it's clear from what you have told us that we have to keep going because nearly 50% of our clubs, 60% of our clubs are not growing in the way that we want. Okay, and I hope that your message will be heard loud and clear by our clubs who are having some challenges growing. And as the district membership chair, I would like to offer my services to any of the clubs here who feel that if we can meet up, we can have a Zoom chat, we can strategize to try and come up with a plan to grow our clubs. Because the amount of service we can do is directly corresponding to the amount of members and the amount of resources that we have. So please bear that in mind. And if you find yourself in a situation where growth is a struggle, then maybe we all should put our thinking caps together and try and come up with a formula that will help us to grow. This year, we have seen 4 new clubs chartered, all with in excess of 30 members. We have seen 3 satellite clubs chartered with between 8 to 10 members in each club, and the net growth we've experienced so far is 210, even though we have very challenging times in this country because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet Rotarians have risen to the occasion. So now, my friends, I'm going to see if our Rotary International President has joined us yet. Can we check to see whether he's here with us? Bernard, is
not yet,
Mehta in the room yet?
not yet.
Not yet, huh?
Not yet,
Okay.
yes.
So while we are waiting for him, all right, maybe Governor, would you like to say a few more things? We have another, say 7 to 8 minutes. Would you like to take some questions?
Yeah, any question?
Yes,
You can ask me.
I open the room to questions. Anyone who has any questions can put them to the governor.
You can invite me. I can be at your club meeting to share with you our experiences, especially RCPP's experience. How we grow our membership, from 8 to 117.
Any questions? Anyone has any questions? Please unmute and fire away.
Governor and Siva,
Yes.
I want to ask for Governor to update us on the status of the new clubs that are coming up. How many are there, and what is the present situation?
Governor?
Now, okay, as I have said, we have chartered 4 clubs. We plan to have another 8 more if we can. By the end of we may not hit 100, but if we take into consideration satellite clubs, we could be there. Yeah. All right. And the 1E club is coming up soon, and we have also look into corporate club, and of course, the easiest way is to get the satellite clubs going, because the number you don't need 20. In fact, our district policy minimum is 25. And I'm so happy to inform that the clubs that were chartered in the first 5 months all exceeded 30 members. So I'm glad to inform you that.
How many satellite clubs are there now?
Now 3, Pudu is, now we have submitted the application for Pudu, the satellite club of Pudu. Then Still 1 is working on it. Kota Baru is also working on it. As I say, 3 more will be chartered, will be formed within these 2 months.
In fact, if I can just add to what the governor is saying, Paul, I think satellite clubs are a very good way for us to bring in young members into Rotary. You can have a satellite club for millennials, for younger people, and they can meet as and when is suitable to them, and you don't have to charge them the full club dues that you charge in your club. So satellite clubs are a very effective way of bringing in new blood into our organization.
And
thank
also,
you, Shiva. This is Jitendra Prasad from Brisbane, Australia.
Yes, Jitendra.
Thanks for having me, and congratulations on the success so far. Could I just ask what level of and what type of support that the district has been giving in your endeavors to charter new clubs? It's just like what level in terms of finance and what kind of support has been given?
Governor, you'd like to take that question?
or you want to answer the question?
Sure. Well,
Okay.
Jitendra, basically, at district level, what we do is we facilitate the interest group meetings. Most of these interest group meetings are held because of the current lockdown in Malaysia. We are holding the current interest group meetings on Zoom. So we're not carrying any costs. But prior to that, in the earlier instances, we used to have many interest group meetings, and most of these meetings are paid for by the sponsoring club. And what the district did was provide resources in terms of speakers, in terms of devising a strategy for that club to basically have the necessary Rotary information to be chartered, and of course, liaison with Rotary International. These are some of the resources we've provided.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Great.
Yes. Okay, and thanks for joining us, Jitendra.
No,
Okay.
Good evening, DG.
very inspirational.
Yes, Ringa.
Good evening, Anand. My question is, thank you for the opportunity given to me. My question is, I'm the incoming district membership chair for 21-22 for the 9675. And I'm very ambitious person. I'm interested to extend 3 clubs in my area, in my tenure. So what is the secret to charter these 4 new clubs in almost in 6 months time, especially during the pandemic, peak pandemic? Is it a win-win situation for the DG and the Anand, or the entire team is behind for this success?
I think basically you need to, if you want to have a very successful year, Ringa, import our district governor to Australia. Okay. He is the dynamo. He is the dynamo who has been driving this growth, and all I've been doing is following him in his slipstream. He has we have managed to find groups of Rotarians who are very interested in extension, like Rotarian Ihui, Rotarian Gary, Ray. We have and Rotarian Tila from Pandamaran, and what we have done is Rotarian Chua Keng Soon from Ramaputra. These people really have been the drivers. Okay, so we are fortunate in that we were able to identify individuals who are very passionate about Rotary, and they were the drivers. And what we did was we helped them in whatever way we can in terms of moral support, being there, showing them that Rotary is a wonderful organization. And now more than ever, I think driving the point that COVID is a reason for Rotary to grow, because the world as it is now, it needs more Rotarians, right? And so this is really, it's the antithesis of what people popularly think, that because there is a crisis, people are going to be disengaged and self-interested. What we have experienced is the exact opposite. The crisis has made people more altruistic, has made people more willing to come forward to serve. And I think that's the experience we've had.
Thank you. I have to join the tuition with your DG.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, the secret is actually in 2 persons. We can do like football, we can do a transfer for a period of time of 6 months, and then you send them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk
But
about
I think fundamentally is that the Rotarians have to think outside the box. If you continue to think as what you have been thinking, they said, if you always think what you always thought, then you always get what you always got. So you have got to think outside the box, change your perspective, because this new formats are all totally throws everybody out of gear, if you think about it. So then if you have that kind of thinking, then possibly you can start venturing into looking at it. Until you do that, I think it is not that easy, because if we follow the old format, it cannot move.
Sure, and we are going to talk more about this, Renga, during the seminar. We have some very interesting speakers who will be addressing these precise issues. And I have a question here, Governor, from past Assistant Governor Brown from Singapore. And he says, do clubs need a sponsor club? Can we charter without a sponsor club? What are the pros and cons, if any?
Well, it's always advisable to have a sponsor club, yeah? Because if you charter a new club without a sponsor club, well, many of the members are new. They have no experience. We need a sponsor club to hold their hands at least for 2 years, to provide advice, to give them guidance, to help them organize the club for at least 2 years. All right? That's the advantage. If you just charter a club without a club advisor, new club advisor, without a sponsor, without a sponsoring club, then they may end up in a very serious trouble. And we have experienced that before, even in our own district.
Well, Brown, can I invite you to unmute yourself and see whether you have anything you'd like to share with us, Brown? Brown, are you there? Can you unmute yourself? No, maybe Brown asked the question and then he went to have his siesta.
No, sorry, I'm on the road. Yeah, I could answer that because yeah, I feel the same way because we have seen clubs that charter without a sponsored club, and we know of some of them that really don't make it, and they don't have guidance from these senior Rotarians, especially when the chartered club has got very young Rotarians. You don't have mentors. First, I think although it's not mandatory, I think it's good if all charter clubs have a sponsor club to guide them. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
But hopefully, actually, I hope it becomes mandatory. Thank you.
All right, you can put up a proposal to the Council of Legislation and make it mandatory, Brown. Singapore East sponsor it.
Yeah, with your help, I'll do it. Okay.
Governor,
Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? I think we are almost at 3 p.m. and our Rotary International incoming president, Shekhar, will be joining us, I think, anytime now. So
I've joined.
You've joined. Okay, here he is. Okay, the very handsome man is with us. Welcome to our district membership seminar, Shekhar. So we will now continue with the program now that he's in the house. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again for a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay, so here we are. Okay, and to help us dream bigger, create better things, and to inspire us in our pursuit of membership growth and making Rotary a bigger and more glorious organization, we have with us our incoming Rotary International President, Shekhar. And I would like to now call upon our incoming Governor, Bindi Rajasegaran, to introduce our speaker today.
Thank you very much, DGND Dr. Siva, and a very warm welcome to everyone to this wonderful membership seminar. And thank you for this honor for introducing the incoming RI President. Incoming RI President Shekhar Mehta is from the Rotary Club of Calcutta Mahanagar, from the great state of West Bengal, India. He visits us today as our esteemed guest speaker, and yet his presence has long preceded his person. An accountant by profession, no wonder his aim in projects is in hundreds of thousands and millions, and he is the chairman of Skyline Group, a real estate development company he founded. He is also a director of Operation Eyesight Universal India, a Canada-based organization. We have witnessed his interventions in the service that he has done in India, and this has revolutionized history in Rotary and the future into perpetuity. He has helped control rising health issues, motivated and brought vision to the many service projects that enabled hundreds and thousands to escape the vicious cycle of poverty. And with his passion in building, his work brought hope to hundreds for a better future when he built 500 homes after the tsunami and pioneered 1,500 life-changing heart surgeries in South Asia. His dedication in equality and opportunity in education motivated him to create the TEACH program, which has made it possible for thousands of children to excel in education. A Rotary member since 1984, President-elect has served Rotary as a director, member or chair of several committees, zone coordinator, training leader, member of the Rotary Foundation cadre of technical advisors, and of course, assistant governor. He is also the chair of Rotary Foundation India. Incoming RI President has received Rotary's Service Above Self Award and the Rotary Foundation Citation for Meritorious Service and Distinguished Service Awards. He and incoming First Lady Rashi are major donors and members of the Bequest Society. And may I add, such a fun couple at social events has witnessed during the Calcutta Summit. His investments in the human capital in Rotary this recent times has reshaped the social and functional structures of our organization, to which he has devoted his selfless service in. It's not just his drive and enthusiasm that has led him to achieve all these milestones, but also his mind that has led to the greatness of overcoming challenges. It is by this philanthropic passion that he possesses that he has proved humanity hope, not only by his personal contributions, but by his empowering actions. He has given humanity so many opportunities, and yet he has just begun. Honorable guests, please join me in welcoming a world of good incoming RI President Shekhar Mehta. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
A very good afternoon to each and every one of you.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, incoming president.
So what a pleasure it is to be with all of you at this meeting at the invitation of my friend Siva. So reminds of the world, good times we've spent together with so many of you. Wonderful times I've had. One of the institutes itself was there, and I can see the architect of that institute, PDG Arasu here. Good to see you, Arasu, and so good to see you, Paul Lee. So many of my other friends I see, DG Bindi. Good to know that you will be serving the organization next year when I too will be serving it. And I'm so happy to see Siti, Kiranjit, Rajindar, Surinder, so many of you. Absolutely delighted to be amongst all of you once again. And Shiva, you know, two reasons why I am here.
I also see DGE Dolly. Two things. One, if Shiva says you have to come, I have to come. Also, if anybody wants to invite me nowadays, he just has to utter the word membership and I'll definitely be there. Anything for the growth of our organization, I'm absolutely going to be there. Before I was nominated, I used to work for membership, but I was more a service and a project man. Programs, projects, service activities, that's what inspires me in Rotary. But ever since I started taking a world view of the organization and not just the South Asia view, I realized we have been struggling with our membership for the last 20 years. For 20 years, we have one phrase. We are 1.2 million members across the world.
Bluetooth mode.
I mean, can we not, the 1.2 million, change it to 1.3 million? So that's the challenge that we have. I think it is such a simple thing to do, and yet we have struggled for so many years. More than 20 years we have struggled to be able to achieve this. But you know, there are other things that inspire me. About 40 years back, about 40 years back, I saw the first ever computer in my city. I was doing my chartered accountancy final and the computer size was 60 feet. The computer size was 60 feet. Today it is 6 inches. The vaccine for polio took 28 years to make. For Ebola, it took 4 years. For COVID, it has taken only 9 months to make the vaccine. So we will do the same thing for membership. What we have not achieved in the last 20 years, we will achieve now in the next 20 months. And let me tell you, I will not achieve it. We all together will achieve it. So Violet, you will achieve it. Andre, you will achieve it. Pushpa, Anand, Bindi, DG Teoh, Arasu, Jeffrey, Bernard, Dhanesh, Shekhar, all of us have to work towards it and make membership an individual responsibility. It's not the job of the president of Rotary to increase the membership. No. It's not the job of the district governor. It's not the job only of your club president. It is as much the job of every Rotarian. Somebody gave you this wonderful gift of Rotary. That's why you are at this meeting. Otherwise, you would be on a Saturday morning, you wouldn't be afternoon, you wouldn't be here. If somebody gave you this wonderful gift, and Rajinder has spent along with Surinder so much time, energy, resource for this organization, he needs to in turn now give this gift to one more person. But Rajinder says, I brought so many members. So what happened? One more this year. So my slogan is, each one bring one. In the next 17 months, let us all try to do a very simple job. Just get one member to Rotary. That's all we are wanting, nothing more. And this is no rocket science. To achieve that 1.3 million, there is no rocket science. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm only asking you to bring one member. Let's see how many of you are ready to bring one member to Rotary in the next 17 months. Will you all please raise your hand? Okay, let me see how many of you. Okay, can I take a picture of yours? Okay, let me take a picture. This looks a nice picture. So many hands up for getting. Got too many people joining. The screen is changing again and again. Okay, let me take the next screen also. Just because you are on the first screen, not only you will get your pictures. These are going to be on the post, and mind you, I've taken pictures of all of you. किरण जी तुम्हारा हाथ नहीं दिख रहा है मेरे को ठीक है क्वीन किरण जी Suresh Chaudhary, every meeting you attend of mine, you have to raise a hand every time and I'll have different pictures of yours. Okay, you'll have to get that many members. So friends, 90% of you just now raised your hands. There are 232 people here. if only the road. Oh, wow. Everybody here has raised their hands. I find. Thank you very much. You can all lower your hands from the screens, please. Or whoever is the admin, if you can just organize to lower all the hands, please.
Yeah, please. Most of
Siva,
it is
can we have this background sound going, please? Come on.
Yes, can admin please mute?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, friends, look, so many of you raised your hands, and let me tell you, I have done this exercise with more than 20,000 Rotarians across the world. Just yesterday, last evening, I was in the area of Turkey, Israel, and all those, Egypt, etc. And the response was just the same. The response was same in Japan, in Germany, in Europe, in South America, in America. Every person said, it's an easy job to do. One Rotarian in next 17 months, 18 months. When I spoke 6 months back, I asked them to do it in 24 months. And they all raised their hands. So friends, if all of us did just this one thing, we will definitely cross 1.3 million. And if we can do that, if we can break the jinx of 1.2 million, I tell you, this will become a habit with us. Each year we will keep breaking this. So simple thing, let's do this. And as we do this, we will take care of diversity. I'm sure many women will get more women. Not that the men will not. We will all keep an eye on younger members also. But young, aged, middle-aged, male, female, anybody, but we will get one member at least. And I tell you, over a period of time, the diversity will automatically come. It will, because Rotary, after all, is a reflection of our society. We live in a diverse society, and it has to be just, Rotary has to be just as diverse as your society is. Let's say in Japan, there is not too much diversity. There are no black people, suppose. So their Rotary clubs cannot have black people. They will not that they cannot, they will not, because they are reflecting just a mirror image of the society. So diversity also will be different across the world. The meaning of diversity in Japan will be different from what it is in India, or what is it is in Thailand, than what it will be in America, or what it will be in Europe. So let's remember, we will each one bring one. Next is, we all will retain everyone. Each one bring one, and each one retain all. So if Siti and I are members of the same club, and Siti brings in a new member, it's not only her responsibility to retain that member. It is as much my responsibility and the other members of the club to retain that person in the club. She has done a favor to the organization by bringing that person. Now we need to hold on to that person, engage that person. And in today's times, pandemic has shown us how well we can engage with people. Amazing engagement we can do. Last night I was in Turkey, Egypt, Israel, all these places. Today I'm in Southeast Asia. Later in the day, I'm going to be in America. But for the pandemic, I mean, this virtual world was there for many years, but the pandemic showed us how to exploit it, how to leverage it. So there are so many clubs who are using these tools to ensure engagement of members. My own Rotary club did a virtual meeting. My club has 90 members. They did a virtual meeting, and we had 2,400 people attending that meeting. 2,400 people at a regular weekly meeting, not a special meeting. Today's meeting has 229 people, which is what you would get at a very special intercity meeting if you organized one, where people will have to travel from different cities and come to one city. Takes so many days of planning. Here, Siva had to just send me a message. I agreed because he put Siva and membership, both the keywords there. I had to be here, no option. And then he sends a message to all of you, and all of you are here, and we have a meaningful meeting. I'm able to send my message across to everyone. So friends, huge opportunity of engagement. Please, all the district governors, please find out clubs that are not meeting virtually. That is the problem area. members in those clubs will leave Rotary, let me tell you, because they are not getting anything out of Rotary. There is no engagement. They are not doing any projects. There is no fellowship. So what else do I get out of Rotary? So please ensure you will suddenly find that 100, 200 members have left Rotary because you did not try to check which are the clubs who are not meeting. And if there are 5 clubs which are not meeting, you organize one meeting for them, a meeting like this, where there'll be 200-300 people. Give the credit to those 5-6 clubs which are not meeting, and suddenly they'll taste blood. They will love those meetings and they'll start having their meetings. It's not a matter of big club or small club. 2 days back, I was in a club in America with only 17 members. Only 17 members, but they had 300 people on that Zoom call with 3 past directors and directors also present there. So a small club, large club, that size now really doesn't matter because of this virtual world. Projects, let me tell you, I did the biggest project of my life, one of the biggest projects of my life, online. On 28th of June last year, we did a project which was live telecast for 3 hours on India's one of the top entertainment channels. The who's who of the Bollywood industry, right from Amitabh Bachchan to Salman Khan to everybody, name every star, they all came and everybody came free of cost for us. We raised money for sending girls and boys, little young boys and girls back to school. And we raised enough money. So fundraising is possible, PR is possible, and projects are possible if you want to do these even online. During this pandemic, my own club set up a dialysis center with 15 machines. Again, let me tell you, let me thank all of you for the inspiration I got for these dialysis centers. It was the first time that I saw these wonderful dialysis centers in Malaysia when I was there. I was taken to different centers, and then they took me to that one war room, so to say, where they had 17 television screens where they were monitoring all the centers, and I really loved that idea. So we also have started putting up many of such centers. My own club put up one center like this, all during the pandemic. I'll give you the example of Rotary Club of Delhi Southwest. For the last many years, 30 years, they have been doing a sit and draw competition for creating awareness on various issues. So children come, 6,000 approximately at the last count they had. They come, they do the sit and draw competition on, let's say, water, sanitation, various issues. This time they asked me to come and inaugurate the program. I went there, I was so pleasantly surprised. Instead of 6,000 children from Delhi, they had 12,500 children from 22 countries and 5 continents. All because of the virtual world. So let's exploit this for engagement. If we engage members, we will retain them. And the third is, we need to have that growth engine, grow Rotary, because of the flexible Rotary clubs that we have. Rotary has amazing ability to adapt. Look how well we are adapting. Our convention became virtual, and I tell you, the DGEs, you will love this International Assembly. I know nothing can match the visit to Orlando, but the next best what we have created is really outstanding. You will love. In fact, it is so nice that I now feel whether my presence at all is required because the videos are so beautifully curated. The next convention, all the conventions will be hybrid. So that is the flexibility we are showing as an organization. And we show it also when we ask Rotary clubs to form new Rotary clubs. So there are satellite clubs. So in Kuala Lumpur, the traffic is too much. 20, 30, 40 kilometers away, there are 10 people who want to make a new Rotary club. They cannot make it with 10 people, but you create a satellite club for them. So they are members of Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur, but in a satellite club. You create 5 different satellite clubs. Your membership grows by 50, but you don't have to change your venue because they are meeting at different venues. And yet your membership of your club grows. Then virtual world, I've been talking so much about the virtual world. Have virtual clubs. Siva, I give you this challenge, start 5 virtual clubs. My district, I gave them this challenge. They started the first virtual club with 120 members from across the world. And what great beauty, just like this meeting, They'll meet virtually. They will discuss. Now I'm seeing you, Siva, but for, I mean, imagine the earlier virtual meetings were different. I went to a screen only and visited there. That was no fun. This is great fun. I'm interacting with each of you. Yesterday's format I loved when I was there. They had 15 minutes of discussion, 45 minutes of question answer. Everybody got an opportunity to discuss things. I learned so much. They probably learned a little, and we all went back happy. So there is huge opportunity of virtual world. Virtual clubs are the thing to stay. Hybrid clubs. I am thinking I'll ask my own club to become a hybrid club. Every meeting to be also telecast on Zoom, so people who are unable to attend, who are traveling, who are maybe not well, can sit at their homes or while they are traveling and still attend the meetings. Or else hybrid in a way that 2 meetings will be in person and 2 will be only virtual. So these are new ways you can form clubs, cause-based clubs. So people who are engaged in, let's say, health issues. So 20, 30, 40 doctors, nurses, they can come together and form a club. Maybe they just want to fight against cancer, cause-based. They want to do water projects across the world, cause-based clubs. Absolutely possible. And these are again virtual cause-based clubs. You can have in-person cause-based clubs. Another thought I'm giving to you, Shiva, it certainly struck me the density of Rotarians in the population. My city population is 12 million. 12 million to 15 million is the population of my city, and the population of Rotarians there is only 2,200. For one person in 10,000 people, which is 0.001% of the population, if we were to have, then we need 12,000 to 15,000 Rotarians in Calcutta. We have only 2,200. If you ask the current governor, he'll say, no, we have too many clubs in Calcutta. But I think we can have 3 times, 4 times the number of clubs in Calcutta itself. Where to find these clubs? I'll tell you that also. So being a builder, I've seen these multi-storied complexes. They have 200 flats, 500 flats, 1,000 flats in one complex. I said, I asked my governor, why don't you go and start a Rotary club there? Call it, walk to your meeting clubs. So you live in a large complex with 500 flats there. I go there, I propose to a friend of mine. You will definitely find a friend in that. Otherwise, friend at least. Give them the idea. You just need 50 people from there out of the 500 flats to form a Rotary club there. They will normally have a community hall downstairs. That becomes their meeting venue. On a Friday evening, come back from your office, you and your spouse, partner, both of you go down and attend your meetings. I told them, and let me tell you, in just 6 months, we have formed 3 such clubs in multi-storied buildings here. Kuala Lumpur is an excellent place to start this. And other cities also. Why just Kuala Lumpur? So many other cities. So friends, 3-pronged attack, 3-pronged approach. First, each one bring one. That is the mantra. You do that and everything will fall into place. But do ensure, don't do it for the sake of bringing a member. Also, because we are asking everyone to bring a member, retention will be better. Rather than one person getting 20 members. If that person leaves, 20 go with them, the Pied Piper. We don't want Pied Pipers in Rotary. So each one bring one. Second, let us retain all. And third, let us have flexible clubs. Amazing opportunities we have for growth. I see no reason why at the end of 1 year, each of us, 1.5 years, each of us on 1st July, not 30th June, 1st July, to show that we have retained those members, on 1st July, can we take our membership to 1.3 million? Thank you very much, Shiva, for that thumbs up to it, because it is you as the membership chair who is responsible, along with the governor, along with the Rotary coordinators. All the very best to you. If there is anything I can help you with, please do let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. May I firstly say that I'm so glad you joined us, Shekhar, and you gave us some very valuable insights. And we definitely will take up the challenges that you have given us. And hopefully the next time you come to District 3300, we will be past the 2,500 target, which we've set for ourselves. for the first time in the history of our district, we have actually crossed 2,000 members. And so we wish to keep heading in that direction. May I now call upon past District Governor Rajindar Singh to propose our formal vote of thanks to you. PDG Rajindar, can you unmute?
Yes, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
So I like Rajindar's virtual background, you know. He's acting as a training leader once again. Thank you, Rajindar, for helping us out.
Welcome. President-elect Shekhar, my dear friends, it gives me great pleasure in thanking our President-elect Shekhar Mehta for his wonderful presentation. As usual, he has given us a very easy formula to increase the membership. Each one bring one, retain everybody, and have a flexible club. I always thank the coronavirus for bringing about flexibility in Rotary. For many years, I had spoken to my club members to have virtual meetings, and it was always shut down. They say, what's wrong? We will meet in person. And now for more than a year, we have been meeting virtually, and we are going in the right direction. And we also have brought in about 2 members, despite having no virtual meeting. Sorry, despite having no in-person meeting. And we are also working on a satellite club, which we will see light very soon. So if we can do it in Ananthan, I'm sure each and every one in our district can bring in more members. The question is, who brings in new members? Shekhar said each and every one. If you're going to say president brings in or the membership chair brings in, then we are not going to get anywhere. Each one of us need to take pride, bring in members, cultivate those members, motivate them, keep them in Rotary, and we will grow. We will grow. I know times are not that great. I hear a lot of complaints about money, about the dues, district, RI dues. So we found an easy method. Once we start meeting online, we canceled all our meals and that reduced the dues. And now more people want to join us. So thank you, Shekhar, for your wonderful presentation. We are inspired, and I can assure you that by the time your year ends, your dream will come true. Once again, let's join in and give our President-elect a big round of applause.
So Rotarians, may I invite you to unmute and give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
So Siva, I take your leave. Thank you.
Yes, please.
I need to
Thank you
rush to the
once
next
again.
meeting.
Thank you.
I have to keep zooming from one Zoom to another Zoom.
Okay, all the best. Cheers.
Bye.
See you.
So my fellow Rotarians, we will now continue with our seminar. I hope you enjoyed that presentation by our Rotary International President, Shekhar Mehta. And now we move on with our seminar in the hope that we can find ways to shape the future of our clubs in District 3300. And to do this, let me invite our first presenter for this afternoon, no stranger to everyone, Regional Rotary Coordinator for Region 12, past District Governor, Dr. Arasu, who is going to talk on the topic, you need a membership plan of action. Past District Governor Arasu.
Right, thank you. Can you, is it clear now?
Yep.
Siva, is it okay?
Yep, it's
Okay,
clear.
thank you.
Yep.
A very good afternoon. I just missed my convener, Shekhar Mehta, who was the convener of the Rotary Institute, past governors who are present with us, and my dear Rotary friends. My topic this afternoon in 15 minutes is going to cover areas of action of how we are going to look at addressing some of the issues in the clubs. Can I have the next slide? Some people collect stamps. Okay, some people collect stamps, others collect coins. But I'm a Rotarian and I collect friends. This was Paul Costa in 1990 to 1991. The plan of action that I'm talking about is focusing on 3 areas. The next slide, Siva, is growth, existing, and retention. These are the 3 areas that I will be trying to address this afternoon. And when we look at our district on the regional basis, we have the highest goal set in the region during our regional meeting of the joint leaders of reaching 100 clubs with 2,500 Rotarians by the 30th of June, 2021. Now, can I have the next slide? Congratulations to the untiring efforts of the governor and also the membership chair, Dato Dr. Siva. Remember, it is easy to induct, it is difficult to retain, and even more difficult to terminate. The good news is the analysis over the region of the last 6 months is there is no significant loss in membership in the many districts in our region. And in fact, in some of the other districts, there's tremendous growth, both in the clubs as well as in Rotary clubs as well. Now, the success stories that we talk about today, the next slide, please. On October 18th of 1995, the Rotary Club of Lakeshore inducted 25 members to expand to 94 new Rotarians over a short period. Their simple mantra was 3 words. That was to think big, and number 2 was to ask, and number 3 was to propose. And in this way, they could increase their membership. The next slide, please. In a neighboring district in our region, there was a phenomenal growth in membership. By simply displaying the Rotary metal crest, the next slide, sir, by simply displaying a metal crest emblem displayed at the entrance of their houses. Now, everyone wanted to be seen doing something for their community. As such, after induction, they were given the Rotary emblem crest to be displayed in their homes. The spouses did not want to be left out, seeing that the other homes were having it, and they had pushed many of their spouses to join the Rotary clubs to do community work. This led to a tremendous increase in membership. And in this particular district, there was a growth of some 600 members over a period of 8 months. So this is one of the success stories in which it is. The next slide, please. Charles Bell of the Rotary Club of Big Spring, Texas, was successful in his membership drive, where he suggested to locate a few right people from your club. All you got to do is locate 5 prospects, and they were the right people. And soon the 5 prospects who were located identified another 20, and a new club was formed. Now, one other way in which we could also look at expanding or areas of success is in some clubs, they have something called membership tree. That means you have say example, if you have a Leslie in the club, now Leslie has brought, he has brought an Osman into the club. Now Osman has brought Ambarasan into the club, or he has brought Asokan into the club. So the membership tree is kept so that each of them are kind of a link to the main sponsor of the club. Now, when a Rotarian sees this membership tree and he finds that he is missing, he has not brought anyone into the membership tree or into the club, it further inspires him to look out for some new members that can come into the club. And the one other way in which we find that there is a growth in these areas or the success of some of these weak clubs is the mentors or from the sponsoring club, a particular senior mentor is assigned to this particular weak club. And in that particular weak club, he now takes a leave of membership from the parent club, joins this weak club and motivates them, inspires them, works them and builds up to the club until the stage when he finds that they can now start functioning, and then they move back to, and then he moves back to his original club in which he was loaned into. The next slide, please. Now, in existing membership, it is important to focus on many things. If we are interested in keeping our membership going, it has got to be enjoyable, it's got to have good topics, it has to be good fellowship, good family ties, and invite spouses to attend the club meetings and responsibilities of clubs, and as well as the Rotary information has to be, and every Rotarian is involved in the club, and the responsibilities are shared, and confidence is built in new Rotarians, in new leadership roles as well. Now the Gallup analysis, the next slide please. The Gallup's analysis showed that Rotary was rated high in the following 4 factors. One is membership was open to all races and nationalities and there was no bar. Number 2, service was the main objective of the organization. Number 3, its focus in working on a specific cause. Number 4, it works with the youth. Now, the unfavorable areas where Rotary was rated low, the next slide please, was they were rated low because the meetings were not enjoyable, an active recruitment of women was not done, a flexibility in attendance requirements was a problem, and inviting new members in leadership positions was a problem, and involvement in community issues. So in these areas, we found that we have lost, the Rotary was actually rated very low. Now losing members is our next slide. The key to Rotary's future is to make a real Rotarian, the next slide please, reach out to each and every club member. For a real Rotarian knows Rotary and shares Rotary and lives through Rotary service. And this was RI Director Donald Trott, who once said that the importance of getting them involved. The next slide, please. Members leave due to many reasons. One is lack of involvement, weak leadership, poor programs, no fixed programs in community work. Next slide, please. Number 5, it is costly, no recognition of work done. Next one, Siva. And insufficient attention to new members, lack of friendship. Number 9 was clicks. Okay, right. Okay, right. Thanks. Clicks. Number 10, clubs do not meet up to expectations. Number 11, there's no motivation in the club, enthusiasm or dedication. Number 12, inadequate public relations to gain community support. Now the question arises is how do we minimize this dropouts? The next slide, please. I think one of the areas that we have to focus is the leadership training at club levels. Impressive and meaningful induction ceremonies, Rotary education and orientation of new members, involvement of all members, either new or old. There's got to be family involvement. There's got to be mentoring itself of new members. Meetings should start on time and finish on time, and good club programs. The next slide, please. Proper recognition, reorientation and motivation of all members, more teamwork, sharing responsibilities, transfers to be followed up. Advice and counsel from district officers should always be sought when there's a problem, and to solve individual problems as soon as they arise. So my friends, this is basically in brief some of the areas in which we had looked at growth, we looked at existing members, and we had looked at retention. And I think the most important, as much as we grow in our membership, it's the importance that the clubs give to the retention aspect of it. The final slide, Siva. Thank you, my dear friends, and have a great year ahead. For the word nothing is impossible, for the word itself says that I am possible. So I'm sure all of us are possible as we address the membership issues in our clubs and in our districts. Thank you very much and have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arasu, for that wonderful presentation. We have 5 minutes still. So
Sure.
I'd like to open the floor to any questions for Dr. Arasu. Does anybody have any questions on the things he spoke about? I mean, basically, he's expanding on the issue of adaptation. What are the things that we are not doing right now? What are the things that we can improve on to make our clubs better, to shape our clubs better? So if anybody has any questions, please put them forward now. Unmute and ask your question. We'll take 2 questions. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Arasu? Would anybody like to unmute and ask a question? Okay,
I wonder if we could possibly get a copy of his slides to help us.
Trying to. Please, can you identify yourself?
I am Bronya from Rotary Club Alpha Ampang.
Oh, Bronya, okay, fine, sure. I'm sure that Dr. Arasu will be more than happy to share the slides.
Yeah, please send me an email.
Will do.
You could send me an email at pdgarasu gmail.com. That's all.
I will. Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
This is Willie Tan at Georgetown. Can I suggest that we have all the slides from today made available, and rather than for us to send it, so that we can all benefit from the good information shared? That's my suggestion.
Yep. What I'll do, Willie, we will share all the slides of today's presentation. I will send an email on the district Google group with all the slides, and I will also put it on the presidents and the club membership chairs WhatsApp groups. Then you can share among yourselves.
That's wonderful.
Okay?
Thanks so much.
Yep, great, sure. Okay, good. So thank you once again, Dr. Arasu. We are very grateful for your very valuable insights. We'd now like to carry on with the seminar to our next speaker. Our next speaker, of course, needs no introduction, all right? He has been a Rotary mentor for many of us, and we have learned a great deal from him. Me, over the last 30 years, I myself have learned a great deal from him. It's with great pleasure I call upon our past district governor, Dr. Paul Lee. As you can look at the slide now, he's going to help you to reach out. He's going to try and help you to increase the reach of your clubs. Ladies and gentlemen, past district governor, Dr. Paul C. Kelly.
Thank you very much, organizing chairman, DGND, Siva, and congratulations for being elected to the position. Now, I will start by asking you to reflect on what our President Shekhar Mehta has just said. That each of us reach out to one member. For some of us, if we think back, what is that is holding us back from introducing a member? Is it because of fear? Is it because we have no friends? Or is it because we are unfamiliar with the procedures? I don't think any of this are valid reasons. I think one of the basic problems that I have encountered with all the clubs, and when I talk to them about membership, is that they all know that if they have 10 members and each of them brings one, they become 20. And 20 is definitely better than 10. They all know they need to bring in the members. The question they want to ask is not why. And I think this is what sometimes is lacking in the districts, in our membership.
Paul, can I ask you to get closer to your microphone, because we are losing you as you're speaking sometimes, yeah?
What if I do this? Would it be?
Would it be better this way?
Yes, much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much better. Huh?
Yeah.
My microphone is giving me some trouble. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that clubs actually know why they should bring in members. The problem is they do not know how. And I think in our district, we should spend more time trying to share how we should bring in members and not why we should bring in members. And one of the few ideologies which I think we have to be very careful about when we bring in members is, number one, is that we always have this idea that such a person is not suitable. He's not, I know him for a long time. He was my schoolmate. We worked together in the same firm. He's not the kind of service-minded person. I think that's a very sad, what they call prejudgment, which I think we all have got to stay away. I'm going to start by sharing with you some points that we always must remember when we bring in members. Can I have the first slide, please? Anybody doing for me? Yeah. Points we must always remember. Number one, a club that ceases to grow begins to die. I think this is a very standard statement, but do we really know that this is something very important? No organization can continue if it ceases to grow. So we need that. Number two is, number two, please. Never prejudge any potential member. As I said, I have seen over the years, members who come in with fantastic public speaking after being inducted, make a fantastic speech, turn out to be really bad. But the other one who comes in was spattering, struggling to make a proper sentence, but came out to be very good Rotarians. So never prejudge any potential member. Number three, next one. The proposer is not the guarantor. I think this is very critical because sometimes we put the responsibility on the proposer, and that puts a lot of pressure on the proposer. And so a lot of people don't want to bring in any members because they have to be guarantor that the candidate that they brought in is of good value. Number four, please. Next one. Now, this is very important. In the multiracial, multi-religious society of ours, be very sensitive to members' beliefs and shortcomings. Be very sensitive, all right? It is not right for you to say, oh, it's okay on Sunday. You can miss church one Sunday. I think that's wrong. Or for example, you know, there are a lot of Indians in the club, and then you serve beef. Yeah, they can take it. They can take something else. If they don't want the beef, doesn't matter. But not. I always say this: will you die if you stop taking pork and beef during 1 year, during the time when you're having Rotary meetings? Why must you be not sensitive to other people's feelings? And last one, please. Next, please. Okay, you must improve on fellowship with family outings. Remember, Rotary was founded on fellowship. Paul Harris on 1905 came to Chicago, not because of wanting to do service, but because of wanting friends. Got 3 of his friends together and they formed the Rotary Club. So it is the fellowship that built Rotary up. So the fellowship is the foundation stone. So if you want to improve your club, if you want to really get your club going, remember one thing. You can have all the projects not going through, but if your fellowship is strong, your club will continue to survive. But if you do not have fellowship, the club will die, all right? And number 6, you must know your members well. You must know your member well, because each member has got the strong points and the weak points. Some members has got a time during office hours, and some members have resources. So each of the members have got their individual strength and weaknesses. You must know your members and you must try and harness that, all right? Next, please. On membership reach, let me share with you some points on ways we could increase our membership, things we could do. The one which I talked to you earlier, that how do we increase our membership? One is get someone to be in charge. get someone in the club to be in charge. And the answer I propose is it is the president-elect. Why should the president-elect be in charge of membership? In my club, it is standard. Once you're a president-elect, you are in charge of membership, because we believe that if you are going to be president-elect, the following year, you're going to be the president. And if you are going to be a president, you want to have a strong club. So we give you 1 year to really increase the membership. And if you do not do anything about it, the following year when you become the president, don't blame anybody else when you said you got no members, you got a weak membership. So the president-elect, who has got the most investor interest, should be the person who is in charge of the membership. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, this is the favorite project of the Rotary Club of Pudu, my own club, for those of you who do not know. We have got this project called a membership development tea. Invariably, every year we have this membership development tea. And this is one project where invariably we bring in a few members every year. Every year we do the same project. Every year we bring in new members. How is it done? How is it done? What we do is that we know every Rotarian has got friends. So what we do is we have a very simple tea where every member is asked to bring in some of his friends. So long as we feel that these friends are people who can be Rotarians, you don't have to guarantee them they will be Rotarians, bring them in. So when they come in, we get 3 senior members who will speak, each of them very short, 5 minutes the most. One speaking about Rotary, what is actually Rotary. Number 2 is another member who speak on obligations of Rotary. How much is your dues? How much is your commitment of meetings? And the third one is the past projects of Rotary. A lot of people don't realize that we started the Heart Foundation, the Kidney Foundation, Alzheimer's Disease Foundations, and so many other things. It is all started by even the Outward Bound School, the Children's Adventure Course. They all are started by Rotary. Nobody knows about it. I think as Rotarians, we should be proud of what we have done, or at least what our predecessors have done. So when we have that, after the simple tea, we have fellowship. In the meantime, we collect their call cards and we take down their names, and then we ask them whether they like to come back to join us for a meeting. Now, very important for us to know is that when we have such a kind of invitation, we would have a particular Rotarian. For example, I invited a Rotarian, Janet, to the club for that meeting. The next week when we have the meeting, it shouldn't be me who should be calling the Janet. It should be somebody else. Simon should be calling Janet. So in that way, you find that different people will be calling the same guest, and the guest will feel great that, I went there for one meeting and there's so many people calling me, inviting me to go back to the club again. So that way they feel wanted, and you can then have a possibility of getting them in. All right. Number 3 is that this is one thing, I don't know whether how many of you do it, but it's something that we have to do. Every day we sit in the office, every day we do our work, we come across different people. And very often we come across people who we think are very potential Rotarians. But what do? We say, oh, I think this guy, invite him to the club meeting. But when the club meeting comes, you forgot his name, you forgot his contact number, you forgot everything. So what you do is, every time you meet up a member during the course of the week, you jot it down on a piece of paper and put it on your table or put it on your pocket. Put it there so that when the day of your meeting comes, you then either you yourself or your secretary can call up this particular Rotarians and ask them whether they like to come for a meeting. So that way we can invite a big pool of people coming to Rotary. Next, please. Next, please. Next. Okay, encourage Rotarians members to invite guests. I think this is very, very common. We all do that, right? And number 5 is other members follow up on guests and not the one who brought the guest. So whenever you have somebody who brings in the guest, try not to have the same person calling the guest again to invite the person. Get somebody else from the same club to invite the person. Now, the other thing which is very important, the person who invited the guest to the meeting may not be a very good Rotarian. So he or she hardly comes for a meeting. So if nobody else follows up, the guest may be interested, but nobody is contacting the person, and you lose that particular Rotarian, particular potential Rotarian. So remember, you need to have other people joining in as a team to invite the person back to the club. Next, please. Now, this is one area which I propose, which I don't know whether how many of you have tried to do this. And that is, you know, a lot of people within your vicinity, even in your township or companies and all that. And what you could do is you could write a simple letter, a very simple letter. He says, I'm Paul, I am a dentist who practices down the road in this particular road. And I would like to invite you to come and join our club meetings. If you are interested, please let me know, call me, and I will come and pick you up. Because a lot of people may see me going to Rotary meetings, but they don't know what I'm doing. But then later on, if I introduce myself to them, they would know that I'm in Rotary, and they may be willing to come and be my guest and come for a Rotary meeting. Remember this, my friends, whilst we are trying to reach out to the thousands of people out there to be Rotarians, there are thousands out there who want to be Rotarians, but they do not know how to get in. So if we sort of open the doors for them and tell them that, please, if you're interested, please come and join us. So that brings me back to the point earlier when I said having the membership tea. The membership tea is a fantastic event because you have got three advantages. Number one, you publicize what Rotary does. A lot of people think that Rotary is a rich man's club, is a luncheon club, is just for people to get together and rub shoulders, you know. So that misconception will be erased from the talks that is given, right? And at the same time, Rotary is a rich man's club. Then when the finances are being shared, then they realize they're actually not that much money that is needed. I mean, Rotary cannot run without money, but it is not an organization where every year you need to spend thousands of dollars to be a member. So that is also one of the areas that we need to address. And so when you have got this misconception and you have these letters is being sent to all your friends and the companies around you, they will then come and talk to you. And if they're interested, you can bring them to the Rotary meeting. If they're not interested, at least they know that what they think about Rotary may not be right. So they could then introduce their friends or change the perception of Rotary. A friend of theirs may come and says, oh, I heard this, you are interested in Rotary. I know these Rotarians are they all terrible people. They only contribute money and they do nothing and they publicize and all that. They said, no, really. I've just made contact with one Rotarian. Rotary is not that. So there's a lot of misconception which must be corrected. And this is one area we need to correct. We need to correct the misconception. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. This is a testimony I must share with you when I was governor, where when I was in one of the club, a member was being inducted into the club. And at his induction, he said, I would have joined this Rotary Club 8 years ago, but every year the Rotarians came to my office and invited my boss, and my boss didn't want to join, and they went back. I was hoping they would invite me, but they never invited me. So when we invite people, we have to remember it's not necessarily the top men that we can invite. We must also invite the others. Next, please. Now, when you have got a membership strategy. You have decided that you're going to bring in the members, and you have said, okay, you're prepared to bring in one member, you're prepared to bring in one member. Now, the next thing you have to do during the course of the year is to harass these members until they bring in the member. It's not a very pleasant thing to do, right? But you have to do it because they promise you they'll bring a member. You have to do that because they will forget. Unless you bug them, you will find that they will forget. So you need to bug them and harass them, and you will see that you will get the results in. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, this is flyers or posters in our own office. What you can do is you can do a very simple flyer and you put it in your office and says, I belong to a Rotary organization, and Rotary is non-political, non-racial, non-religious, and we serve the community, and so on and so forth. And if you're interested to know more about Rotary, please contact me, telephone number, this number. So you put that poster there, and then if your clients or your business people come to your office and they look at it and they are interested in Rotary, they have a source of trying to contact you. So this is one area that you can think about. All right, next please. Wear your lapel pin. This is one thing which I challenge the Rotary International leaders in one of the Rotary institutes. I say, if we as past governors don't even wear our lapel pin, what are we talking about? We don't even wear our lapel pin. How often do we wear our lapel pins? So that is one thing which we must do. If we are not proud of the lapel pin, it's not going to work, all right? Next, please. Display the four-way test. I think that's something which is quite okay. Then the last one is publicize our clubs in the social media. Nowadays, you've got a social media, and that must be one place that you publicize. Next, please. Next. You've got to look up old friends and classmates. Don't forget, your friends and your classmates and your colleagues and so on, they are potential members. Look up, talk to them, and ask them whether they would like to join you. Unless you try, you never know. All right, next. And last but not least, when you get the member in, make the induction ceremony memorable. All right, make induction ceremony memorable. Roll out the red carpet. Roll up the red carpet. Make it a day. Don't simply just do it any way you like. Do it with a bit of dignity. Get the governor to come and induct. Get some district officers to induct. Of course, you can induct as the president, but you have got, do it with a bit of dignity so that they can be proud of the day they join Rotary. All right. So with that, I think I have covered all I want to share with you. And I overshot my time. Thank you very much. My apologies.
Not at all, Paul. Okay, we are very grateful for taking the time for this valuable sharing. You just have to read the chat box to see how much the Rotarians appreciate the insights that you have given us. And we thank you very much for it. I'd like to actually, if I may, just take a few minutes to read what was written by one of the Rotarians in the chat box, okay, while you were speaking. And this comes from Greg Jude. He said, in the earlier presentation, 2 of the many reasons why we lose members is cost and being an elite group. Rotary can be costly or caters for an elite group. Some people want to be Rotarians with the sincere intention to serve, but cost can be an issue. If Rotary could be a section, could have a section to finance its members partially or to reduce its monthly fees, it would be good for those who are passionate about service. Charity begins at home. Maybe we could also think of how we can help our own members so that they can help others. Next, on elite groups, sometimes these exist because you scratch my back, I scratch yours. People use this platform for personal gain or to be recognized, and we should be constantly reminded of our calling and the objective of service above self. Any comments on that, Paul?
Well, I think there's always these accusations of club being elite and club being expensive, but it's not really so. I think it's up to individually all of us to realize and make our friends feel at home when they come and join us. And if we can do that through fellowship and all that, we can show to them what they are thinking about their perception. It's not true. It's not true. I've been to Rotary clubs all over the world, and I don't think it is a rich man's club. It is an elitist club. I think if they can go down to the floor and clean up the floor, how low can they be? So I don't think there is a problem of being elitist. I mean, I've been to Philippines where people whose house has got some 15 servants and the drivers are all over the place. But when they go to a site, they put their hands on the plow and they dirty their hands. That means they're prepared to really do the work as a normal Rotarian. So I think this conception is not there. We need to erase that.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, so once again, Paul, on behalf of the district membership team, we are very grateful for your sharing. And now we're going to continue with our seminar with our next speaker, who is going to share with us her ideas of how we can shape our clubs. It is none other than PDG Siti Subaidah, someone whom I'm very, very, very glad to call my sister. I was her district trainer. She gave me the chance to do that. And I think she reshaped many of the training imperatives in our district. And she wants to talk to us today about you need to step out of your comfort zone. You know, I hope you like my EDM there, City of this head trying to come out and going down, come out and going down. My fellow Rotarians, it's with great pleasure I give you PDG Siti. You have to unmute, Siti.
Okay, thank you, Siva. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you everyone for being here this Saturday afternoon. Well, we have sort of had a very interesting session starting from our RI President-elect, who actually gave us the solutions of what he is looking at and what we are going to look at. And then we have PDG Arasu, who actually came up with a plan of an action that we should be looking at as far as growth, extension, you know. And then we just heard PDG Paul, who gave us this thing about how to do it, right? And I'm sure all these pointers by our speakers have really been so relevant to us. But what I would really like to share with every one of you is probably the fundamentals, okay? Let me share screen so that we can work on this. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen, right? Shape the future of your club. That's what Siva has given all of us and what we are here today. And I would like to share with you about you need to step out of your comfort zone. I think when he put up that initial slide, you know, with the zone trying to come up, the O and N, we are kind of struggling what was that supposed to be. And I think we all as a club, as Rotarians, perhaps we need to just step back a little bit and look at some of our challenges, right? Let's look at this thing here. Let's talk of where our membership is. I'm really looking at something that is internal. It happens in all our clubs before we even look outside the club. I think we need to really look at what is within our club. We need to probably take stock of where our membership is currently, especially now with COVID, with virtual meetings coming about, the changes we are experiencing, the fellowship, which has been the fundamental, the basis of why Rotarians get back together, you know, the dinners and everything else has changed so much, and it affects our club in many ways. So when we look at, you know, where our membership is currently, perhaps the first question we want to ask ourselves, are our current members engaging? And I think this has been, the word engaging has been used by RI President-elect, has been used by PDG Arasu and also Paul. I think it's something that we really need to look at. Are we engaging our members? so that they can be back into the fold, being proactive with the club. Now, the next thing we like to look at is really honestly ask ourselves this question. Within your own club, is our membership stagnant? We can have 40 members in our roster. We can have 100 members in our roster. We can have 15 members in our roster. But how many members who are actually out there or who attends our virtual meetings, who attends our projects, or even for that matter, who answers our WhatsApp discussions that we have in a club at a club level, you know? So are we still, you know, are we at a stage where we are so stagnant? So much so, DG Teoh has to look, and district district membership chair has to look beyond and can come up with growth outside the clubs, because we are stagnant. But at the end of the day, we need to decide where we want our own club membership to grow. Do you want your clubs to grow? Some clubs, they're very comfortable, you know. They're very comfortable with their 20 members, you know, because anyone comes in, it may disrupt the chemistry in the club. If anyone who new comes in, you know, they may not be able to gel well with the club. Yes, when we grow, we are engaged with different group of people. There's diversity in the groups. There's diversity in the language. I think we had some chats there about, you know, language that's been used in clubs. How do we accommodate them? Do we really need to set up a Mandarin speaking club, a Bahasa speaking club, just to accommodate a language speaking group? Why can't we use those, because we are Malaysians, why can't we use those various diversity within our own club? Make everybody comfortable. So do you want your club to grow? At the end of the day, this is a question you need to ask yourself as a club. So if you're not where you want to be with your club membership, it may be because you're stuck inside your own comfort zone. This is my club, this is what we do, and this is all we are happy all about. Okay, growth is probably not something we are looking at. Yes, we want to grow, but if people come, we accept. If people don't come, you know, we need just a certain group of people who can join us, a certain elite group of people who join us, a certain grouping that would like to join us. We have this very, very comfort zone that we are so comfortable with that we don't see it as opening the doors to others to join us for the sole purpose of the cause of what Rotary is all about. Probably we look at it as what our club is all about. We fear bringing people because we look at our club. This is our club. Do people want to join our club because we are not an active club? Do people want to join our club because we don't have all entrepreneurs in our club? We've got, you know, people who are in perhaps the wage earners compared to the business people. So sometimes we fear that. Sometimes we don't. We just fear ourselves because we fear what others have an impression of our club whenever we invite them. That's the other comfort that we have. So instead of embarrassing ourselves, we rather stay comfortable. We're just happy with 15 people, do the project we can, join, pay RI dues, you know, have TRF every year, and voila, we are a Rotary club, right? So if we really want to look at expanding or wanting to grow, we really need to break free from this feel of us, this comfort zone. And it's not an individual of the club, it's the entire club that needs to break free. It's the entire club. The membership needs to come together and want to do this. They want to change. They want to get out of the zone and you know, look at, assess the club. What is the club situation at the moment? How can they grow? What's happening with our members, right? So if we look at that, perhaps this is what we want to look at in our members we start with. Because if you don't engage with your members, you don't know them. And I think a lot of clubs are losing out with our membership because of this virtual thing that we're going around. We do not meet every week, you know, I think since 2 years ago when Rotary has allowed for meetings twice a month. No longer a weekly meeting. So we're losing touch with our members, right? Virtual has been also another issue. we tend to lose members. People probably just come in for a few minutes and then they're out. So they don't know what's happening in an hour of discussion. If you don't know your members, you don't know much about what they are willing to do or what they want, right? Some people, they join Rotary for a certain reason, but when they are involved with our projects, you know, they get so excited about it, they want to do more. But are we giving them that experience? Are we giving them that Rotary experience? You know, there are so many clubs that have got senior Rotary. I mean, majority of clubs are at least 10 over years old in the district, at least 10 over years. And I'm sure there are Rotarians there who are more than 10 years in Rotary. And I'm sure if you have stayed that long in 10 years, you have had an experience that you want to share with newer members. So where have we lost that? When did we lose that zest to share that experience of ours? So if we don't know what they want, we lose their interest. And once we lose their interest, we lose their membership. And once we lose a member, we actually lose, we forget, or rather we can never discover the good that the person can contribute to your club. We lose a Rotarian. So our role right now as a club, as individual Rotarians, while we endeavor to bring a member into Rotary, I think more importantly, we have to look inward. We have to look at what is happening in our club. I mean, my club suffers the same phenomena. We have been, you know, stagnant for a while, and then we grew, and then we became stagnant again, you know. And I think one of the things we found in when we start assessing it is there is lack of engagement. You know, we ask ourselves, when was the last time we actually spoke to a member who has been missing for a few months? We forget those members, right? And it becomes easy to become complacent. So let's look at revitalizing the friendship, what Rotary is all about. Yes, right now with COVID, you know, it's kind of pretty difficult for us to meet. But now with this virtual, with this, you know, even if you can meet 2 people at one time, 3 people at one time, a buddy system, and that's what my club has started on. You know, just individual, just go out for a coffee with a buddy from the club who has been missing. Just 2 people. You don't have to meet as a group. You know, have a coffee with a person, a Rotarian who has been missing in action, right? Those are the little things that we can do. But give the members experience, involve them in a cause. If there's a project they may have missed out, just, you know, allow them the opportunity to do something at their own pace, at their own, time. And of course, we have to recognize every member's presence. Right now, the WhatsApp is sort of the world for everybody. We're always on the WhatsApp, right? But do we recognize those who are in the WhatsApp but has never replied us? And we be wondering, why are they in the WhatsApp in the first place? But they've never replied us, right? What's happening to them? But they read messages, they don't reply, right? So something is wrong somewhere. And we just take it very easy. We don't, you know, kind of look at it seriously. And every contribution, not necessarily whether their contribution in terms of Rotary Foundation or contribution in projects, but contribution means their presence in your club. Physical presence, be involved in discussions, engaging with members, that is valuable to us. And that is the experience everyone wants to feel. They want, I guess people want to feel needed. They want to feel wanted. They want to feel that they can contribute despite, you know, whatever challenges we have. So we have to try and away from all this routine that, you know, makes us so comfortable. We are so complacent about things. Yes, we want to grow. We want to go out there. You know, I think the effort of creating satellite clubs, e-clubs, virtual clubs is excellent. I'm sure DGE Bindi is cracking ahead now. I've got all these babies that DG Teoh is creating with Siva. Next year, how am I going to retain all these 2,000 over members that we have already brought in, right? So we need to even think, how can we retain these members that brought in? And these babies are very fragile at this point. You know, they're so fragile because their Rotary information is very little. They didn't have the opportunity to fellowship like how we used to do, you know, because I think that personal engagement means a lot in retention, right? So we have all these new clubs coming in. How do we now help to retain this membership that we have already grown in our district? Excellent DG 2,000 over, right? Of course, there's this drop at every point of when semi-dues comes in. So I guess we have to go back maybe a step a little bit, look at our clubs, look at the fundamental, the basics of why we ourselves are not growing. Is it because we're so comfortable that we don't want to grow, right? So at the end of the day, my friends, it's only you who can decide whether you want your club to grow. And it's only you who can plan how you want your club to grow. Because each of us are unique in a different way. Paul has given us a full list of how to do things. Maybe out of the 20 points he has given us, 5 is relevant to what we can do. Pick those up and build on those. Arasu has given us a plan. Maybe, out of that plan, 2 works for us. RI President has given us a solution. Go out there one-to-one. I think we spoke about one-to-one for umpteen years. Maybe it's time we really make that effort to do a one-to-one, right? So it is your comfort zone that determines the growth of your club. It is you who needs to decide whether your club is going to grow or going to stay as it is, or is going to close at the end of the day. Nobody wants to close any club. I think every time when we have a brim of a club that is about 2 or 3 members, somehow or other the district comes back together, help the club and motivate the club, and the club grows. So I don't think we have ever closed any clubs because of small members, but the district came in to help out. By the end of the day, my friends, again, I would just like to stress that it is you, and it's you who determines the growth of the club. And I think PDG, Dato Mustafa Ma used to say, the bird in your hands, whether it survives or not, is in your hands. With that, thank you very much, Siva. I hope I've shared something, and within that time frame that we have.
Thank you. Thank you, Siti, for that very meaningful sharing. And I think you're absolutely right. I think we need to step out of our comfort zone. And the comfort zone can be many things, right? But I think most importantly, as Tony Aki said in the chat box, okay, he said, but basically, if we really want to grow, we need to take a good hard look at ourselves. I think that's the essential thing that we need to do, because if we don't understand what our own weaknesses are, then we can't possibly grow. So I'd like to continue with this district membership seminar. We just had the opportunity of listening to past Governor Siti, who talked to us about you need to step out of your comfort zone. My friends, as we shape the future of our clubs, all I can say is that this COVID-19 pandemic, it has forced us to rethink. It has forced us to innovate and to step out of our comfort zone, because really the shape of how Rotary clubs are functioning now is completely different from before COVID-19 pandemic. And that it is paradigm shifting. Years ago, my club considered meeting virtually, and the general consensus was, no, it's not going to work. If we meet virtually, there'll be no fellowship and our members will leave. But we have been functioning virtually now for a year, and my club, the Rotary Club of Greater Kuala Lumpur, has grown from 39 members to 55 members during the COVID-19 pandemic. And to a large extent, this was done by not only organically growing the mother club, but also by starting a satellite club in one of the areas where we are doing a service project. And so that is what has caused us to grow. If you really think about it, COVID-19 is just earth-shattering. People used to think about World War II and the atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki as being, earthquake events that shook the earth to the very core. 202,000 people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In the last 1 year, 2.1 million people have died because of COVID-19. 2.1 million. So we live in a new normal. We live at a time where people have lost their jobs. We live at a time when hardship has become the new normal. Crime is on the upswing. And what stands in the way, right? What stands in the way of the way things used to be and the way things are going to be? if Rotary doesn't change, if we are still caught in a time machine of 30 years ago where we think this is what Rotary Club should be, that we are such important people and that, you know, nobody who is not like us can ever join our organization, then we die. Mark my words, if we don't change, we die, all right? And many years in the future, this is the signboard of our district. Yeah, sorry, we're closed. Why? Because we didn't change. We didn't meet the challenges of our time. So as Siti said, I think we have to not only think out of the box, we have to keep thinking out of the box, because every box is a cage. If you think out of the box, you'll create another cage in the goodness of time. So you've got to keep innovating. If we are to grow, then we need to create impact. We need to reach out. We need to engage. We need to adapt. These are our strategic priorities. So today, our governor started the ball rolling in his opening session, where he created impact by just declaring wantonly to everybody that this Rotary year, we are going to be 2,500 members. You know, prior to this Rotary year, the target has always been 2,000. And prior to this Rotary year, we have never ever achieved the target. We somehow get to about 1,900 members, and then the following year, we are back down. So now the challenge, as Siti quite rightly pointed out, as Paul noted, as Arasu noted, is that not only we have created this impact by crossing 2,000, we have to keep going until we hit 2005, and thereafter we have to keep going. Why? Because CARES has proven that we can grow if we put our mind to it, if the leadership is committed to it. Then Arasu, of course, spoke about what are the inherent weaknesses in the way we do things. What makes Rotary weak? Our club meetings boring, whatever. So he says there's a need for us to adapt and change to the challenges of the time. And Paul, I think, spoke from his heart about how we can reach more people if only we spend more time thinking about our clubs, thinking about what are the important things that we do in Rotary, and sharing those things with the people we meet. And Siti, of course, finally brought it up to a very nice kind of summation when she said, at the end of the day, if you don't engage the people in your club, they're not going to stay. If you don't get them involved, they're not going to stay. So through the hard work of all the Rotarians in the club, you can build a club. Now, to a lot of people, 2020, 2021 is a very challenging year. It's given us a lot of difficulty. So I'd like to share this video with you about this chap, Derek Redmond. You'll find it very interesting. I've shared it before. Things don't always work out the way you like it. And so it was for Derek Redmond at the Barcelona Olympics. Derek Redmond was favored to win a medal. He pulled his hamstring 150 meters.
When I am down and oh my soul's so weary, when troubles come,
everybody else ran.
And my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
You know, this is one of the most amazing feats of human courage that the world has witnessed. Derek Redmond was a young man thinking that he was going to win a gold medal at the Olympics, thinking that he was at least going to get a bronze medal. And in the race of his life, for which he had trained his whole life, he ran, and into 150 meters, he pulled his hamstring. And for many people, the race would have been over at that point. But Redmond, writhing in pain, picked himself up and was determined to continue to hobble to the finish line, because for him, the race was not over. Even though everybody else had finished the race, they'd touched the tape, they'd finished the race. But for Derek Redmond, his race was not over until he finished the race. This story tells us something very simple, that at the end of the day, Rotary is a great organization. Why? Because in Rotary, we are like family and friends, and family and friends matter. And that is why we have to stop dumping on our family and friends. We have to start supporting one another. And when one falls, another picks him up. That is the essence of Rotary Fellowship. We must value compassion, and we must never give up. That is what makes our organization great. And so even though COVID was a very difficult time, we had a man who stepped up to the plate and said, "Don't call me DG, call me bro." He became our family. He treated everyone with compassion and kindness. And he said, "We're going to hit 2,500, MCO, no MCO, CMCO, whatever letter you want to put before MCO." He carried on meeting in small groups. And I joined him. And together, you and him and I, we have managed to bring the district this far. Now is the time to adapt, innovate, and transform. Now is the time to understand that Rotary is not about you, your ego, who you think you are. Rotary is about the legacy that you will leave when you're gone. So that somebody will then look and say, you know, your father, your grandfather, he was a Rotarian. He gave food to the poor people, you know, he brought healing to the sick, you know, he tried to bring about a better understanding among people in the community and resolved conflicts. He was a good man. We will always remember him. That is what Rotary is about. It doesn't matter whether you're club president, whether you're membership chair, whether you're district governor, or for that matter, whether you're DGND or any other letters you can put before your name. What matters is the mission, and the mission is what we are here for. And we can only carry out this mission, and we can carry out this mission even better if we have more members, and if we are to follow what Rotary International President Shekhar said. Let's make it our business for one to bring one and for everyone to keep everyone. Let us make it our mission for the remaining 6 months of this Rotary year, and in the next Rotary year, and in the next Rotary year, to bring one and everyone keep everyone. Let us try and innovate within our own club so that we make sure that we meet, even if we cannot meet in person, we meet virtually. And let us follow his advice and try and form more e-clubs. Let us try and form clubs in condominiums and flats and complexes like that, where many, many people are huddled together. What is the harm in them meeting? After all, they meet in a residents association. What is the harm in them meeting and doing something good for their community? I think these are things that we must look at. We must reach out so that we can keep growing. And then this goal of 2,500 will seem paltry, because when we get there, we say, why 2,500? Why can't we be 3,000? Why can't we be 4,000? Why can't we be several districts in Malaysia? That is where we want to go. So now, before we end the session, I'd like to invite our governor and our speakers today, past Governor Arasu, past Governor Paul, and past Governor Siti, to unmute so that we can take, we've got a few more minutes. I think we're a bit over time, but doesn't matter. For those of us that are still here, we have still 178 Rotarians on with us. All right. I'm sure they have questions they'd like to ask. Maybe we'll extend by another 10, 15 minutes. I'd like to open the floor to questions. Please feel free to unmute and ask your questions. And if you have a question for a specific person, then address the question to the specific person. Okay, let's go. Any questions for the governor or for any of our speakers today? Please feel free to unmute. Those of you who would like to ask questions. Any questions? This is a remarkable thing. Rotary District 3300, 178 people, no questions. It's an amazing day indeed.
I have a question.
Okay, name please, club.
Kamarul from Rotary Club of Ipoh South.
Oh, that name sounds very familiar. Is the question for your Rotary spouse?
Huh? No, it's the question that I sort of, or statement I made to you, Siva. I think most of us realize that we need to increase members in our club. But I think maybe we are failing because we are not selling or promoting Rotary to our friends correctly. So maybe you can comment on that.
When you say we are not selling Rotary to our friends correctly, Kamarul, would you like to perhaps suggest what you think the correct parameters should be?
I mean, for example, you know, there should be maybe like, just like you're trained in insurance, you know, how to approach people, how to sell. Maybe we something similar in terms of trying to recruit Rotarians. I mean, I have tried with friends, but maybe I'm not doing it correctly.
Okay. Well, for us to know whether you're doing it correctly or not, first you must tell us how you're doing it.
I mean, exactly, that's the thing. I don't know whether I'm doing it correctly.
I'm just kidding, brother. Okay, maybe I'll put the question to the panel. Anyone or the governor himself may want to respond.
Okay. Thank you, Kamarul, my AG. I think the most important thing is we must always talk to friends or even our own relatives or whoever. Always talk about Rotary, share Rotary, and show Rotary who we are, what we are. It's very, very important. You may just say, people just tell your friends, I'm a Rotarian. Then you raise a question, they will raise the curiosity. Oh, Rotarian, what exactly, what are you doing? So this is a time you show, share, talk about Rotary. I think this is very, very important. Fundamentally, even to get new members, this is what they have been doing. And so once they know something about Rotary, then you invite them. Don't just say, come and join us. Because without knowing what they're in for, they won't join you. In fact, they will be very, very reluctant to join you. But if they know something about Rotary, they may want to find out more. So they join your meetings and you open the door, give them the opportunities. The moment they come in, you close the door and that's it, the deal done. Yeah, this is my take. This is how I look at it.
Great.
Can I share something?
Yes, sure, Paul.
My personal belief at this area is that we must be realistic. We must be practical. Sometimes what we do is we put the things which are so mammoth in front of us that we cannot see what's beyond. Meaning that, for example, you will come, the potential member comes in, and first thing you talk to them is, no, you must do this service, and then you must come for Rotary meetings, and if you don't come for Rotary meeting, I mean, it was in the past, you'll be sacked, all right? You know what they'll tell you? You must be crazy. I don't even have such kind of commitment. Why should I have such commitment with you? So I think this is where the thing is. I think our emphasis should always be, come and join us for fellowship. After Rotary is founded on fellowship, right? Come and join us for fellowship. You come and join us for fellowship. If you enjoy the fellowship, you will stay. You would find the ways to come to stay there with us, because all of us have been there for a long time. I've been there for 40 over years. Why do we stay 40 over years? Because of the fellowship, because of friendship. Then you can give some testimonies about your friendship with fellow Rotarians and so on. And then that's how you bring them in. Don't talk about the service aspect of it. I always believe if you hinge on fellowship, you have a better chance of survival. If you hinge on service, within two people, they have got two different ways of service. This one wants to do service this way, that one wants to do service that way. They're not the same. And say, no. If that's what you talk about service, I'm not involved with it. So the best is to get them in for fellowship. And as what Rotary is, once they bond together for fellowship, they will do service, not the other way around. Right? That's my 2 cents worth.
Thank you, Paul. Just to let everyone who is still on with us know, all the presentations have been shared in the Zoom chat box. All the presentations have been shared in the Zoom chat box. So if you just scroll down the Zoom chat box, you will see I have shared all the presentations. So you can download it from Zoom, okay? Because I'm getting a lot of messages about sharing the slides. I will also share the slides in the district Google group. And for those overseas Rotarians who have texted me separately, I will be sharing it with them. But right now, if you want to download it, you just scroll down the chat box and you will find that I've downloaded all the presentations on the chat box, okay? I can see PAG Kirti, Dr. Kirti, Dato has raised his hand. You have a question? You have a question, Dato? No? Okay.
DGND, Dr. Siva.
Yes.
Hi, this is CG Lee here from Putri Lagoon, Johor Bahru.
Yes, CG.
Okay, I think I'd like to congratulate DG Teoh for, I have been following the Facebook that we noticed District 3300 has new clubs forming up even at this pandemic. I think that's a very good sign that, in this pandemic, we still have new clubs. So I would like to check with DG Teoh, of your new members, what about any Rotractors becoming Rotarian? What is your view on that? Or so far, many Rotractors, for the we do have Rotractors joining, the new clubs, but it's not in group. Yeah, they join some of the existing clubs. For the new clubs, only a few of them don't join. But the satellite clubs, they have a lot of youngsters joining us. Okay. Like for example, Rotary Club of Pudu, they are forming a satellite club, now Rotary Satellite Club of Pudu. And that group of, I think about 15 of them, 14 of them, they are all youngsters.
Okay.
So they don't join the mother club, but they join the satellite club.
Oh, I see.
Are
they Rotractors?
No, only one or two.
I think just let me add some information to you, CG. In our present club, there are 4 Rotractors who have become our Rotarians.
Oh, great.
There are 4 Rotractors who have become our Rotarians. And I think at least 2 of them have taken out director's post for next year.
Great.
So you can get them into the Rotary side. But because we are such a established club, they are very fearsome of coming in to take positions. So they come in for a while to grope around and see whether, and they're comfortable, they will then, so 2 of them have actually been nominated to take up director's post.
Any Toastmasters joining? So far, Toastmasters and Rotary in 3300, any so far from either Toastmaster to Rotary or Rotary to...
I'm sure there's a lot of Toastmasters in Rotary, but I don't know whether anyone has joined because of the collaboration between Toastmasters and Rotary.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. I would like Tony Aki is with us. Tony, you're sharing some very interesting opinions in the chat box. Can you please unmute and speak to us?
Okay, can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, Tony, we can hear you.
Okay, great. First of all, yeah, fantastic. All the presenters are very good today, and if anybody feels they haven't been motivated, they've obviously either not been listening or they were sitting outside in another room. But that was a good session today. I'm sorry I couldn't join you earlier. I had something else pre-booked.
Bluetooth mode.
Sorry. Oh.
No, sorry.
Yeah, look, like every club has its moments, and I've been in Rotary a long time, but only recently joined the Rotary Club of Tanjung Bunga, and it's apparent that the motivation to get things moving is essential. We just can't move by keep on repeating the same old things at the meetings. Okay. But I'm trying to now start to motivate the guys. I'm doing it as the PE. I've got a really great guy, Andy. I'm not sure if Andy's still online, but Andy's also taken over. For any president currently running in COVID-19, I've got to take my hat off because it's not the easiest thing to have been doing. And just to try and keep everything together. I've brought 2 new members in the last 6-8 months. They're enjoying it. I'd love Paul's idea of the afternoon tea, Paul. I mean, I do it with lots of my neighbours. I have lots of friends coming in, and I think it's something that I'm going to capitalise on probably once our CMO's uplifted. I think it'll make life a little bit easier for all of us. But it's all within ourselves, guys. I mean, anybody that's ever been a sportsman will know what motivation's about. It's getting up and going the extra mile. It's wanting to beat the next guy. It's bringing, want to beat the next club. And just don't look at what's gone on behind you, guys. Just keep looking forward. Keep looking forward. Derek Redmond. Yeah, I followed that race actually. Pretty gutting, isn't it? Really.
Yep. Excellent.
But hey, if he'd have had that Josh Groban record playing at the time, but unfortunately Josh Groban hadn't recorded it at that time, that would have probably motivated him to carry on. But if you can't get anything from a story like that, you can't get a story from anywhere. That's really fantastic.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you
well done, mate.
for sharing with us.
Good.
I've
I've enjoyed my afternoon, guys. What will make my day now is Arsenal beat Southampton in the FA Cup today.
Sorry, Manchester United fan.
I know you are, man. That's why I got in first.
All right.
Congratulations on attaining place 1.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah. We also have the district trainer from District 3310,
Siti.
Andre Suharto with us. Andre, would you like to unmute and share some thoughts with us?
DG Andre has left.
Oh, he's left, has he? Okay. Any other questions? Richard, you seem like you have a question for us. Richard Doral?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Unmuted. Yes.
Okay. I lots of things about this seminar. Others have praised it. I will give you another picture. I hope it doesn't dampen things. But first,
I may have to mute you. I may have to mute you.
You might have to.
Don't bring us down, Richard. Don't bring us down.
No. I think some feet on the ground is good. First, my main point, which I made in a chat posting, was you must not. The main criticism of Rotary, worldwide and even here, that it is depressingly top-down. And today's presentations are all top-down, from PDGs, PDGDNs, and downwards. You must get younger people to talk about membership, why they joined, and why they stayed. PDG, Pauline, Haitis, and so on. That's not what young people do. I'm not young, but I think I can see how young people might get turned off by old people in the club. Fellowship, for example, how do young people fellowship with old people? Or maybe vice versa, how do old members, 30, 40 years old, senior people, they can't find anything in common to talk to with younger people other than projects. It's projects that keep young members, will draw them in and keep them in, and fellowship will subsequently develop, not the other way around. And this is where we are losing out. I'm not surprised that your younger members would much rather be in a satellite club where they are with their own kind, age-wise, experience-wise, work there, fellowship there, and eventually then join the mother club at some future point or spin off and become their own club. I think an opportunity was missed, Dato Siva, when you didn't bring in younger members. PAGs, they're young members who are in the public image and other director positions at district level or even at club level to share their views also. It has all been top down as I liked it. I would very much like to look at the slides and to use those slides, but you miss an opportunity of democratizing this evening's presentation. And perhaps the next time, let's hear from the younger members because they are the future of the club. We are not. Myself is not. And that's what I think was missing. But in terms of the general points and so on, they were great. One thing I felt PDG Siti was very relatively negative compared to the other people when she seemed to downplay the role of virtual interaction and the virtual rebuilding of Rotary, not just in COVID, but I think going into the future. And that is where I was very much inspired by the incoming Rotary president's support of the embrace of the virtual platforms to develop projects and to develop fellowship. And in my club, we are trying to mix fellowship and the virtual, physical and the virtual to find the correct mix. I'm sorry if I've dampened the spirit, but that's what I honestly feel. Thank you.
I think what we need is more honest discourse like this, and rest assured that going forward, I do plan to organize one more membership seminar before our term is out, probably in March, as we are driving towards 2,500. And I will definitely be mindful of what you said. You've raised some excellent points. And I think we need to, in the next seminar, create, because this time we had the RI president and whatnot, but the next seminar, maybe we should do it more forum style. And we should give, like you said, democratize the platform and give more people a chance to input on ways that we can try and improve our organization. Thank you for your sharing, Richard. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Dr. Siva.
Okay. Any
Dr.
other?
Siva, can I talk?
Sure.
My name is Jeffrey Su. Yes, I'm one-year member of the Rotary Club of Greater KL. I am honored to be the chair of the membership growth of Greater KL. So after listening to all the speech of all the people, I was very, very impressed, honestly, all the speakers are great people, okay? And then actually I wanted to get on members. After listening, I'm very sure I'm going to bring in 3 new members.
Oh, very good.
Okay, I will be under the leadership of DGND. Actually, he's the incoming president. Thank you, Dr. Siva.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I look forward to your term as our membership chair. It will be excellent. Okay, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Dato Siva.
Yes.
This is Mani from Rotary Club of Nilai Central.
Yes, Mani.
All right. So mine is not actually a question. It's more of an advice from all you senior guys. My club is about 6 or 7 years old. And it looks like I'm the leader in a train, in one coach with all my members in it. The most important thing I wanted to do is to increase the fellowship. But there is a strain because of the pandemic, the COVID. But nevertheless, I'm still on very high spirit with all these lessons that I've learned from all of y'all. The only thing, on board the train, there are some people who it's quite difficult to even get the fare from them, to collect the fares from them. So, and some of them pay their fares, but they don't even speak anything. When you try to speak out, there's only 3 or 4 who listens to you. The others are probably busy with their own things or what. What advice will any one of y'all give me? Because the spirit is still high, I'm not going to give up anything. It is going to go on. But what action do I need to take? Increasing members is not a problem, which I think it is very, very important and very crucial for the club. Probably it's time for a change. I will seek your advice, yeah?
Sure. Any of the panelists would like to respond to President Mani from Nilai Central?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Siti.
Hi, Mani.
Hi, Siti. Hi.
Nilai is one of the new clubs, and I think you just celebrated your 6th year, right?
6th, yeah.
I think what you're saying, a lot of clubs is suffering from the same thing, especially during this period. But I think as Rotarians, the first thing we need to look at our back. Am I a Rotarian, right? We need to really continue motivating our fellow members. I think engagement is crucial. We tend to just give in if they're absent, right? So we have to continue engaging with them. Motivating is something we have to continue doing, especially those who are, you have Rotary in you, and you really need to do that. Projects, yes, but I think I would like to cite the example of the Rotary Club of Malawati. Right, they have excellent virtual meetings, excellent speakers. And Richard, I'm not against virtual, but it's this kind of platform that we have to change and bring in our members just to get them in. I know not all of them is going to join us, but we continue to motivate them. Don't let go of them. It's just for whatever reason they may not be there. Maybe out of the 20%, you may be able to bring in the 10% and work on another 10%, another 6 months. Don't give up on your members. Very importantly, just continue motivating them. Maybe they have some personal reasons, there are whatever reasons. Do the buddy system. One member who is very familiar with that particular member maybe has got some challenges. Financials can be the same thing. I mean, we talk about all the issues outside. People are suffering from financials, and maybe these are some reasons they don't want to be involved in Rotary and they're embarrassed to tell you. So maybe a buddy system, go down to our members and talk to them. We have these challenges even within our Rotary family, right? It's just not outside. We don't just serve the community. We have to serve within our own club. So look after our own members. Just care for them. I think that's what we need right now to care for each other. I hope that helps, Mani.
Okay, thank you, Siti. But if you speak about project, 4 of us can easily run a project. There's no issue about it. Price has been brought down. And some of us, like me as a president, if you come and speak to me, I'm also willing to pay for your dues. I got no issue about that. But the commitment is, but now, nevertheless, I am doing what you have said, Siti. I am encouraging them, giving them, sending them wonderful messages that how important they are to the club. I've not given up that hope. That's why, you know, if it's a decision at the end of the day that I need to make, is it a decision which is going to be costly, or shall I just continue paying their dues to RI and even their district dues? Do you think I should continue with this?
You want to add on, Siva? Oh, yeah. I mean, again, it's back to the club. Okay?
I think you cannot be paying their dues for them money. They have to pay their own dues.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as a member is not able to pay their dues, they are already having certain difficulties, and the club certainly cannot continue to pay their dues for them. So, you know, you need to take a stand at a certain point of members who do not pay dues. It's different from members who don't attend, you know, who are not there, but, you know, their dues, they still pay. But for club members who do not pay dues, you really need to seriously look at it within the club, because you are burdening the club unnecessarily. And you are paying for members who are not paying RI dues.
Okay, good.
Noted, Siti. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
We'll have to take these questions up at the next opportunity, or certainly I'd be quite happy to call you and have a chat with you and see how we can improve the situation in Nilai Central. I'd like to invite our district governor for his closing words, so that we can end the seminar. We are already half an hour over time now. Like a football game, we are over time now. So, Governor, the last word is to you.
Thank you so much, DGND, Dr. Siva. I think this is a very successful seminar. Thank you so much, and everyone for your presence here and your patience. I think we have gone through, we have discussed a lot. Anytime you need us to be there, we'll be there again, even with your club, yeah? Whether Zoom meeting or physical, if the situation permits. Be happy, more than happy to be to join hands with you all, and I really thank you all for so much for walking the journey together with me to grow the district. This is our top priority, and I hope we'll keep it up and go on. I mean, striving to achieve the 2005 target. Yeah, with that, I think thank you so much for your time again, and your patience and your presence. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much once.
Thank you, DG.
To all of you. Have a good weekend. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank